Hello there, and welcome back to Hydroponics Daily, your go-to podcast for everything soilless cultivation. I'm your host, Dr. Russell Sharp, and I've come across a number of enzyme products in the last couple of weeks, and I just wanted to talk about them because they're quite interesting and intriguing. My friend Lewis on Instagram sent me a message about one of them, so let's just get that up. Where are you, Lewis? There you go. It was a mention from another podcast, actually. It was the Jug Dealers podcast, and they were extolling the virtues of a product called Green Sensation from Plagron. And it's a PK booster, as is very common in hydroponics, a PK product in flowering. That's nothing unusual. Lots of people say that you should be adding a PK, and there are loads of PK products on the market. Most of them, like this one, are made from mono or dipotassium phosphate. And in fact, if you just want a PK product, you best just buy some potassium phosphate. Often these are the cheap and cheerful ones, but often people try and add extra ingredients to give them a unique selling point. And one of the unique selling points, according to this, of the Green Sensation product is that it contains enzymes. But the problem is, there's a couple of problems with that. One is that on the ingredients list, there's nothing there that would be a source of enzymes. So one website declares the ingredients, and if this is different to what Plagron state on their label somewhere else, let me know, because I'm more than happy to change this. But it says contains potassium phosphate, monobase, hydrolyzed milk protein. Now, enzymes are proteins, but this is hydrolyzed, which means it's broken down. So that can't be a source of the enzymes. Potassium hydroxide will break down enzymes. Lactic acid, again, that won't be too good for enzymes. Phosphoric acid, that won't be too good for enzymes. EDTA shouldn't have much of an effect. Phosphorus pentaoxide, and that's not going to have any effect. And potassium phosphate again. So yeah, not sure where the enzymes are coming from on there. So if Plagron know, let me know. So that's the interesting one, is where are these enzymes coming from? And the really crazy one, though, is that these guys on this podcast, the Jug Dealers podcast, are saying that it's really good because the enzymes are breaking down the cell wall. And that's the first time I've ever heard of enzyme being used on the plant as it's growing. So additional enzymes being applied to the plant. And they're saying that it helps because it breaks down the secondary cell wall of the plant. I've no idea why you would want to do that. So if you know, or if you know any of the guys there at Jug Dealers, it'd be great to collaborate and let me know what positive effect that's supposed to be having on the plant. And then the other thing is that they're also recommending the application of silicon products. And silicon products build up the strength of the cell wall. So you would think those two things would be counterproductive. Either you want to degrade the cell wall or you want to build up the strength of the cell wall. Why would you? I don't understand the rationale of breaking it down. Certainly no reports I've ever read have recommended the application of enzymes to the plant as it's growing. There are a few products that add enzyme to the soil or the growing media for a number of reasons. Improving nutrient availability, so things like phosphatases, proteases to break down and to make amino acids available. They can release amino acids and phosphorus back into the soil. You can the main use of enzymes is to break down dead roots, organic debris, and that's where most enzyme-based products are aimed at in the hydroponic sector, is reusing growing media. So you add the enzyme, breaks down the roots, and the problem with that is that a lot of grow shops make money from selling new grow media, so they don't want to be pushing enzyme-based products. A lot of people are lazy and don't want to wait weeks for the roots to break down. And the third one is, if you want to break down dead plant roots, the best way is to compost your grow media or use a worm farm to get rid of the dead roots. That's what I would do, is just set up a worm farm. It's probably easier, more reliable than using enzymes, to be honest. The other reason that doesn't work very well is that these enzymes are generally made by companies like Novozyme in Denmark, where they're designed for washing powder. So they're designed to work at 40 degrees Celsius and they're designed to be in aqueous solutions and short scale, not exposed to UV light or to bacteria and things like that. And that's one of the problems, the limitations of enzymes, is that they are proteins. So they break down quickly in soil unless stabilized, and they will break down under UV light. So if you're spraying them onto a plant, they'll break down really fast, and they probably wouldn't work if there's any UV light there at all. So better to actually apply microbes that produce enzymes in situ, giving longer lasting effects rather than directly applying enzymes themselves. Enzymes are great when they're being produced by microbes like fungi and by plants themselves. Plants will produce their own enzymes, thousands and thousands of enzymes. As we talked about, rubisco, the most common protein on the planet, that is a enzyme that's crucial to photosynthesis. We talked about that a couple of episodes ago. There are a few enzymes for stress tolerance and for enhancing microbial activity, or for cleaning irrigation systems, so drip systems for breaking down organic matter. So the same enzymes that you would apply to soil for enhanced microbial activity. But certainly the first time I've ever heard of anyone applying enzymes onto a plant, and for a really weird reason, breaking down the plant cell wall. I just don't think you would want to do that in a crop. You always want strong cell walls. That's why we add silicon and CalMag and things like this. Weak cell walls will lead to pest and disease issues and lead to crop disintegration and quality issues. But maybe I'm missing something completely. So I'm not dissing drug dealers in any way. I'm not dissing Plagron. Just let me know, guys, what the enzyme does, why it's beneficial, and where are the enzymes coming from? Because on the list, on the US label, you have to list the ingredients, and there's no enzyme source, any materials in there that would make me say, oh, that's the source of the enzymes. So really intrigued. So maybe a follow-up on this one enzyme and on this one tomorrow, perhaps. So a bit of a weird one today. Tomorrow, probably going to do an episode on arsenic. My doctor has asked me about arsenic is white rice a source of arsenic? So my GP has asked that, and so I will answer her question tomorrow, and I'll do some thorough research on, is white rice a source of arsenic? Should you be worried? And where's it coming from? And what effects does it have in the plant and on you? Okay, until tomorrow. Oh, that is a good point, actually. Arsenic is one of the elements on our periodic table of plant health, and you might see some adverts on Meta because I've been promoting that. So if you would like a copy of the periodic table of plant health, it's available, and shall put the link in the show notes, and you can download a PDF and you can print it off in whatever size you want, A4, A0, whatever you want, get it laminated. Yeah, so that'll be available. Link in the show notes. In return, if you find it useful, please leave us an Apple Podcast review. It would help tremendously. Until tomorrow, thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.